What's going on, you guys? And welcome to part 5 of my Let's Play Stranded Alien Dawn series. This is the second time I'm recording this, and unfortunately, am I have to start off this video with an apology. Um, at some point between saving the video, which was almost an hour long, and uploading it to Share Factory, the file corrupted. Now, in my media gallery, it shows the video. I see the thumbnail. I see the timer. It says 59 minutes and 54 seconds. Now, when I click on the video, it says, sorry, this video is unavailable. Well, first, what it does is it goes to a black screen with 0 minutes, 0 seconds. And then, after about 10 to 15 seconds, it gives me an error saying, sorry, this video is unavailable. Please try again later. I've been trying for 48 hours to get this resolved, and unfortunately, the video's gone. There's nothing I can do. No kind of editing because it won't even let me edit it in the media gallery. So the footage is gone. And the other reason, the main reason I am apologizing for my part, is because I forgot to save. Now, what I've been trying to do is save, relatively close, so that if something like this does happen, I'm not, a couple days out. Now, what I did is I did come on and save at the closest autosave that I could find, because this better work save file was set to year 1, day 9. And you can see where we're at, or where we were at year 2, day 14. So that was a massive chunk that I would have had to replay. And with the survivor roles and all that stuff, it's all RNG. So we wouldn't have gotten the same thing. So the file would have been a little weird because you would have seen me going from 7 people to God knows how many. It probably is different people, so I'd have had to, yeah, it would have been a huge headache. So instead, we lost about 37 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through on what I did. And which one is it? Is it this one? That's this one right here. All right, so what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to walk you through step by step on what I did from 37 minutes ago to here in the span of the gameplay act. So what I did is, first and foremost, I paused all of the walls. You want to pause these walls because nothing's going to get built. I needed to work on the interior. Now these two are built in the video, but we place these two down. This one is the advanced research desk, and this one is the soldering bench. I placed a rack back here for all our food. I had to adjust something in here, as well as in here. What was it? The bricks and yeah, bricks were showing up in all these, so we had to adjust that. I had to adjust these a little bit because there were resources popping up. There was some food that was showing up here. Um, Place some more placeholders for the clothing. I placed down 2 grills. We haven't used them yet. Um, I unpaused 2 more of the power battery banks, which got built. These also got built, as well as the perimeters, power, and electricity. The other thing that got built was the interior of the floor here. I went with a wood parapet flooring here. I moved Grayson and Vanessa's beds. This room is done. I built the 2 forges here, or sorry, the 2 fireplaces. I moved the 3 furnaces here. I moved the large metal scraps over to here. I'm gonna get ready to break this down. Let me see, what else did we build? This got built, the eating area. Now let's go to the roof. Okay, so they didn't get built yet. Sweet. I was just getting down to getting the flak turrets. Now, speaking of, what I got built was the flak turrets. We researched the flak turrets. I'm not sure exactly what else we researched, but I'm going to go ahead and scroll through everything. That way you can have a chance to get the researches that I have already completed done. So if something doesn't show up here, or sorry, if something shows up on your list but not on mine, research it. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple moments to pause a couple things. Sorry, I'm not going to pause, but you can go ahead and pause and get it caught up. So that's those researches. Then I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Here's another thing. There's no more breakthroughs after that over there. And then scroll down a little bit more. If you see anything, get it researched. All right. Secondly, I believe I had to swap over a couple skills. So again, feel free to pause the video, adjust as needed, or to adjust your survivors as needed. One thing that I noticed was we needed to add some doors because our people were getting stuck in here as there's no other way in. You need to get in through here. Hold on, give me a second. There's a truck coming by. Is he done? Okay, I think he's done. Yeah, we had to throw in those. We paused a bunch of other things. Again, we paused the walls. I believe I added these in. I can't see it in the other video. I have the end of the fourth video paused and I can't see over here. But yeah, we added in some more defenses now that we know exactly where the walls are going to be. So yeah, we started working on that, getting them all squared away. And that's pretty much it, you guys. So now that we're all caught up, hopefully you pause the video and managed to get everything caught up. Another thing, we finished completing the house structure. All of it is completed. So once you're caught up to this point, these things, sorry. I moved the cooking fires over here, and there is some delivery drones placed down right over here. Just trying to think of what else has been adjusted. I think that's it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and unpause now, you guys. We're going to catch up to where we were. Let me see here. So I had a bunch of resources that I went and harvested that are no longer harvested. Starting with these sticks. So cut the bushes, cut the trees. We're going to leave the smoke leaf. We're going to leave the food. Another thing that I did was I collected all the hay. So let's get this done. This is technically in our way, so it's just best to get it done. Put Grace into work. We have our double layer of defense all the way around the base. Once we get some of this stuff on the inside built, I'm gonna go and add in some extra defenses around the perimeter because that's our focus on this one. We're on year 2, which means more defenses, and starting with the auto turrets. We're going to put one at each corner to start, and one in front of the door if it'll let us, which it won't, as there is a fireplace blocking the way. So we can back this one up just slightly. And then rotate to point towards the back. And again, place 2 down. You can feel free to do what I'm doing right here. Probably won't need it, but I'm going to do it anyway. More defenses only ensures my victory is complete. So right here in front of these, going to place those down, which brings us to a total of 8 of these flat cannons. Now this should be more than enough. And with those placed, we're going to have to increase our power generation, unfortunately. Which means a lot more resources that we need to have done. I need the soldering bench so that I can get all of the good stuff. so we can make the CPU cores, electronics. Sorry, my brain was having a shutdown moment, brain fart, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't complying. But we need the soldering bench so we can make the CPUs, the electronics, and the AI cores and mech cores are made in that, as well as some of our advanced weaponry. I believe the advanced weaponry is made there. I know we can also make it here. Nope, we can't make it here. So yeah, it's in the soldering bench that you make the advanced weapons. And we're mainly just waiting on all of our good... Hold on, that was one thing I needed. We're just waiting on some stuff to be smelted. I needed somebody to do some handling, and I believe I set that to Katina, as she's just, cooking a little bit. She's doing a little bit of cooking with Paulette. But Paulette's our better cook, technically. We did have to do a little bit of work with Katina to get her up to Paulette's level. But I'm going to have her do handling. That way, these furnaces can get stockpiled, as well as all of these can get hooked up with resources. It says awaiting materials, which we have access to. However, the only thing that we're waiting on is somebody to actually handle the materials. And as you can see, she's now handling the furnace, and that's what we're waiting on. We were waiting on somebody to go and create the metal, which doing that now. Once these delivery drones are available, they'll be doing all of that. So until then, we're going to have Katina doing it. Let me see where these hungry pests are. Okay, they're over here. I forgot about this part. I should go ahead and hit that pause button. Select all of these little pests. There's a total of 36, and I'm only seeing 35, so hunt. And we're going to hunt down that other one by continuously tapping. There he is. And hunt. By continuously tapping through the hungry pests over here on the right, it'll cycle each and every opponent or whatever you're selecting. So, for instance, if it said hypothermia, oh, here's a perfect example, heat stroke. I can click on it and it takes me straight to Krista. And we have heat stroke because we are in the summertime now, and these are active. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to temporarily move this over here, somewhere a little bit cooler. That isn't 100 degrees, and I'm going to extinguish one, at least until this gets built. Once this gets built, we can leave this open, and it'll vent some of that excess heat. Same with this one. I'm going to extinguish one of these, and I'm going to extinguish one of these. And since we have a secondary room now, I'm going to go and see about moving the ladies. So assign owner is Paulette. Let me just make sure. Okay, so Paulette, we're going to move your bed to the wall. That one's Katina. We're going to move hers to the other wall. That's Rockus, so he can stay. That's Ken's. Here's Krista's. We're going to move Krista's bed. I'm going to put it right here next to the door. Paulette's bed, Krista's bed, and Katina. So that's those three, and that should be the men in the center room. It's a little bit better on the interior. Now that that's complete, let's go over to housing, select flooring, and I want to set, let's go with the stone paving. Go ahead and place that in there, and that'll get rid of the caveman, or was it the cave dweller, sorry. That'll get rid of the cave dweller status. And give you creature comforts, which all that does is just boost your mental for your people here. And the more you can do that, the better off you are. So we finally have a third built. I need to get some research going on by way of self-destruct missions. They need to start feeding me these. I need the battery upgrade. I need it. Right now we have 100 production but no consumption, but that's going to change here in a minute. As soon as these tables get built and this gets built and the turrets get built, we're going to be looking at some serious power consumption. I mean, these alone are 30 apiece. 30 power. And we've got 8 of them. That's a couple hundred power just from turrets. That's not including the cooking apparatuses. That's not including the soldering bench or any of the future technologies that we're going to employ in our playthrough here. Which, those being the electric smelter, the nanotubes printing, and then eventually the printed components. There should be a couple more technologies. Yes, the surgical automatons. There's the battle drones, as well as the defense bots, and the mechs once we get a mech core. But we can't currently see the mechs, as like I said, we don't have the mech cores researched, which we have them learned, but you have to also have one. So besides having it researched, you have to create one or find one. And once that happens, then I'll be able to see the mechs. There's 2 different ones. There's a combat mech and there's a light mech. Obviously, the light mech you have to research first before the combat mech. And the combat mech's the bigger brother. Significantly larger. Uh-oh, Ken's hurt. What happened to him? I still have 10 pests to deal with. So Ken, you're going to need to recover really quickly for me, bud. And then you need to go out and kill the rest of those creatures. And while we're waiting on that, I need to take a look at what's being built. So there's turrets. Sorry. There's traps that are being handled. Yeah, let me disable these traps over here as they were built before everything else. Just hit that pause button on them. Likewise over here, Rock is constructing these traps. I don't need him to build these yet, though I am going to want him to work on them here shortly. Spaceship debris, don't need you. And pause all our construction. Why didn't it pause? What's going on? There we go. Alright, now that that's paused, they're going to work on the rest of this. The more important things, like creating our iron. Sorry, creating our metal alloys. I don't know why. I know why I call it iron. I play a lot of Ark too. Well, I play a lot of survival games, and majority of the time, they call metal iron, such as RuneScape, which I've been playing a lot of that recently too. I'm for the very first time, I've created a hardcore Iron Man character, which means I can't use the GE. I can't trade with players. I can't pick up anything off the floor that players drop me. All I can use is what I can buy from the in-game stores, I believe. I haven't tried the in-game stores, like the trader. There's the what's it called? The shopkeepers and the various vendors that the game has set up around the various cities. But I'm doing the hardcore Iron Man. I would have done the ultimate Iron Man, but I wanted to have access to a bank, as I like to do a lot of grinding. You know, I like to smack at trees for a while. I like to do some mining. I like to do some fishing. I like to do my crafting. And here come the Junos. So enough about RuneScape, and back onto this game. So there's 3 of them over here. I'm going to start by pausing the game. I'm going to... he's constructing the drone too. That's unfortunate. That has to be done. Select everybody, and we're moving them out. I'm gathering them all together so that I can take out these Junos. These things are beastly. As you can see, they are already coming for me, and they are already tearing me apart. Need to get everybody engaged in this. And for the final one, and then I'm going to observe. And a butcher. Then pause the game as soon as you're done killing all of them and undraft your survivors. That way, they're not wasting any time sitting there bleeding out while you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with them. And then let's go ahead and hit the 3x speed. I don't like playing on 1x too often. What's going on over here? Get out of here, you little pesky bug. Why are you fighting him, Grayson? Alright, well, let me go ahead and pause and observe. There we go. That'll give Krista something to do just for a little bit. As soon as this right here is completed, I'm going to go ahead and break this. And we're going to probably move this right now. I'm going to get it a lot closer. I'm probably going to end up moving it to this back section here, a little bit closer to its fuel source. So I'm going to put it right here is the perfect place for it, actually. And then let's go over to housing again. Let's go to doors and place a door on this back section right here. On either, no, just on that side. And you can place one on this side if you'd like. I think I'm going to, honestly. That way they have a fast way out here to do upgrades and to get out of the base and to get into the base. Having a variety of locations to come in and out is very crucial to your character survival. For instance, imagine your players are out here and you get attacked by a swarm of these flying things, which will decimate your people in a matter of moments. And they're fast, mind you. So instead of having to run your people all the way around getting murdered to get to here, they can just slip right in. Or vice versa, over here, they can slip right in. You don't necessarily need anything over here because if they're coming this way, they're either A, going to choose this door, or they're going to choose this door, and they're probably going to choose this door more than any other door. Unless, of course, it's coming from this way, then they have 3 options. But now we have 5 options. So we shouldn't have too many problems with our people dying. Now the doors, they do add weak points. Right now, the metal might be stronger than the stone, but once this is all caught up to cement or concrete, the metal won't be as good. Now, once we get to the battle drones, it shouldn't be much longer. Let me take a look at the research again one more time. Power cell assembly, and then they're next. So once we get those battle drones researched and get a couple of them created, I'm going to upgrade my people to the nanotube era. You know what the nanotubes will do? Is it'll A, convert all of my living structure to carbon. It will give me solar roofing, which will then power everything during the day, and the more batteries you have, the better off you're gonna be, because you're just gonna have a ton of power. Now, you're gonna want to build a ton of the windmills. I would only recommend building so many of the regular ones, unless you can't get the the self-destruct mission to activate. And on top of that, it giving you the ability for the upgraded batteries, or for this purpose, the upgraded versions of these. Now, obviously, like I said, you're going to want to build as many as you need to keep your power generation going, to keep your things running, because if you don't have the power, they shut off. If you don't have power for these guys stop working, and your things no longer get delivered to where they need to go, and your stuff starts breaking down. So, you're gonna want to keep on top of your power generation. Now, I like to keep a look at it, every so often. Like during the nighttime right now, we're only making 20, and that's also because they're only pumping out 4. There's no wind, which sometimes happens. They're usually pumping out about 20, between 10 and 20 each. I have seen them drop down to 8, but as you can see, we aren't really using anything that requires power yet. So we don't have any need to look at these. I mean, I could technically activate these, but I want to try and get a couple more things built. Like I said, we're in year 2. We want to get these built. We need some anti-air turrets. And we need them now. I have a feeling that I'm going to get hit by a swarm of these flyers soon. And I'd rather be prepared than not. We just got attacked by the Juno. And yes, I am saying we because I'm trying to include you guys. I mean, there's some of you who might play along, you might not. I don't know. So, just for the sake that you are playing along, building as I'm building, this is a Let's Play series, I am going to say we occasionally. And when I'm saying we, I'm also obviously speaking of those that are playing along and doing exactly as I'm doing, or at least using it as a rough draft. You don't have to do it exactly as I'm doing. I do know what I am doing with this game, though, so feel free. I'm saying that word a lot. Doing. I need to. I need to give it a break for a little bit. I think I said it like 10 times in the span of 30 seconds. Nearly done with power cell assembly, which I believe will get a new resource. Do I have? It doesn't look like I have. I'm looking for a power cell that I can break down for something. Yeah, I don't have any. All right, Ken. We're gonna have Ken continuing to salvage in the hopes that we find some sort of mech core or a power cell. In the hopes that I can get our next resource. And that resource is the energy crystal. Necessity for all of our energy-based weapons. It's necessity for... Honestly, I can't remember what else besides that. But as for its location, I might end up moving the balloon again and then just putting a little bit like right in here. I might put the balloon over here. Now that I think about it, we do have that new door on the left and the right. See, I'm going to put this over here. About right there seems good. Enough room for my people to get around. I am going to place the turret, or not the turret, the wall fortifications. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here really quickly. These tower fortifications. I only have the wooden ones, but as you can see, you can place them along your wall. And let's go ahead and pause them real quick. I don't need them being built. And what that does is allows you to get your survivors up somewhere a little bit higher than the rest of your turrets that are going to be down here, and they'll be able to shoot over everything. Assisting your turrets, assisting your traps, which this is where you want to kill majority of the ground-based enemies. You want them to die in your traps. Honestly, not majority. This is where you want them all to die. You don't want them getting past here. Because once they're past here, your turrets that are on this side can't shoot in. And then it's all left to, your interior. So What I mean by your interior is, I mean, if you have the battle drones, which are the combat variants of these, if you have the battle bots, which are the ground-based variants, and if you have turrets on top of your structure, that is your inner defense, or your interior, as I called it a moment ago. And then you have your exterior defenses, which is everything past these, uh, for now, I almost said stone, but it's wood, these wood walls here. Everything past that's your exterior. Everything inside is interior. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and break this down. It looks like first I'm gonna have to go up here and there we go. Disassemble. Got to get our food out of the open air. Got to get it out of the sunshine. Yes, a self-destruct. Finally. I'm gonna put this right over here. All right, give me something good. Give me something good. Expedition. I'm gonna send Ken. He's my go-to. My fingers crossed, you guys. I don't know what I want. Honestly, I know what I want. I want the battery. This is what I want first. I want to go from 400 or 4,000 to 8,000. That would be amazing because that's an instant upgrade that I don't have to do any kind of extra building. As for the solar panels and the wind turbine upgrades, I need to have the nanotubes, which I don't currently have. And then as for everybody else, let's go ahead and select them. And let's get them moved out over here because we're about to get attacked again by some more Junos and some basic bugs. And since they're over here, they should walk through majority of our traps. If not, I'm going to keep an eye on them as they come in and adjust my people as needed. Might even get them a little bit closer, to be honest. That way, when they're hitting here, they can start getting engaged by my ground forces. And there we go. I got my people in position. And now we wait. And here they come. Go ahead and select your units. Pull them to the inside, as these guys are going to trickle on over and get stuck in our traps. Did the Juno just get trapped? Hold on. How did you get trapped? Is it... What got trapped? Their front leg? Huh. Alright, now that they're starting to get a little bit closer, let's pull our people deeper into the trap field. And I want to see if that Juno gets trapped again. That shouldn't have gotten trapped. It might have gotten stunned and not trapped, but maybe the game bugged out? I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to have gotten trapped, though. I can tell you that much. Okay, I was worried that Vanessa was unconscious because she was bleeding profusely, but it just looks like she's extremely tired and ravenously hungry. And let's go ahead and butcher all of them. Our expedition is complete. Let's see what we have to choose from. Please, not the weapons. Give me the power. Yes! We got the battery, you guys. And with that, I'm going to activate it. Battery optimization. And I'm going to disable... No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I want to have that next. The battery optimization. The nanotube printing, honestly, I could wait on that and not even be concerned with it. But I do want to get it built and placed. And just for the sake of having one. You know, if we build one right now, since we don't have the battle drones to go and attack the nest to get me my tubes, it's something. It'll allow me to get my researches started, at the very least, for anything that involves nanotubes. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select all of our local scraps, and we're going to get Ken to work now that he brought us back something good. He needs to find us something even better. And that means he needs to find us a ton of scrap, because we're going through it left and right. I had like 2,000 and now I'm under 1,000. And my metal really isn't getting stockpiled. So, take a quick look at the timer. 35 minutes. Okay. Alright, so now I am running the two different save files, one as a backup to the primary, just in case the file ends up being corrupted again. I'll at least have that save spot. Now, the commentary obviously is going to change because I do all of my commentary as I record it. I don't have any kind of extra software on my PlayStation or a PC. Unfortunately, I am on a fixed income disability. I'm 100% rated, and yeah, the fixed income really hurts. Yeah, I get a nice paycheck at the beginning, but then I have to stretch all that out. So getting a PC is kind of beyond my means at the moment. I do have plans on it, considering I've been having a lot of recording issues. It's really been frustrating. This is the third time I've tried recording the series, and even now I'm getting hit with corrupted files not even saving at all, but showing that they did save it. It's hurting my brain. It really is. Right, so it says Vanessa's starving, but all she is just hungry. Because we have food. Or do I? It doesn't say that I'm out of food, so I must have food somewhere. I thought I had some refrigeration. I had refrigeration, but I don't need more. Okay, so what I need to do, since it's summer, is let's get some food. Let's get these harvested. I need to harvest the grain as well. Somebody needs to go and collect some stuff. Oh, do I have this researched? I do. Okay, yeah, I'm allowed to harvest it. That's why. Yeah, I do have it researched. I'm like, do I have this researched? I can harvest it. Alright, so let's get those melons. Giggity. And might as well do some hunting. And there we go. I don't know how we're starving when we have all this to harvest, but okay. Who's my harvester? That could be the problem here. Paulette's my harvester, but she's set to cooking primary. And Katina plants and also kind of harvests, as well as Krista. Um, Now, the only reason Vanessa's hungry is because she's out going way over here and she can't really get food a lot. It's not that we don't have any. Or else the game would let me know, hey, you're running out of food. Yeah, I'm curious as to why it's not being placed there. Oh yeah, because it's getting placed over here. That's what we had to do. I had to unselect it from over there. Hold on. Ooh, dismantle. I did have energy cores, which means we're now going to have a new resource, you guys. As soon as it gets dismantled. Oh, I need to speed up time. I was wondering why everybody was walking slowly. Ken's bleeding? How badly, though? It's just a slow bleed. Most of his damage came from fighting those creatures over there. But I thought somebody was building one of these the last time. Oh, he was just putting some stuff into it. Okay. But we're still missing CPUs. Which one did he place it into? Okay, this one's being built. So electronics, we're going to get that. So we're going to have our first delivery drone here in a minute. which means things are gonna get going because Krista just dismantled. And there it is, new research, energy crystal, or sorry, not new research, new. Let's just that's the you don't need that yet. This is what we're looking for. And making a field, and since these are two, let's go ahead and reduce the field by that much. Yeah. The extra two that were sitting over there would have been wasted, useless. You gotta keep that in mind when you're building your farm. You don't want to have dead space. I mean, you can. I like having it nice and clean like this, with no dead spaces to its growth. Like, for instance, if I would have put a single row on here, since it takes up two per spot to build it, it would have just looked weird. I like things looking clean. I have a little bit of an OCD issue, but feel free to do your base however you want with your crops. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be nice and neat like mine, but I did want to have some sort of structure to it. As you can see, it's nice and laid out in an orderly fashion, with some things getting in the way, but still, it is in a somewhat orderly fashion. There's designated rows to things. Like, you have our basic resources, like trees, branches, hay. I did place this here, some grain, because, just to have it, but it would have went over here. I didn't want to mess up the appearance, though. And I could honestly remove a little section off here and put it over here, but, it's already there. I have my food in one section. I have my advanced resources, like my cotton, my silicone, and my bark leaf, my skin bark. So it is a somewhat orderly layout. It just helps me visualize what's going on. Again, set yours up however you feel comfortable with it. If you want to have your food closer to your people, by all means, do it however you want, because it's yours. It's your file. But these guys need to get to building. What's Raka doing? I think he's waiting on resources, to be honest. And what's Katina doing? She's handling the furnaces. Good. I don't know if I want to put some more doors on the side here. That way they're not walking through people's houses. Oh well. Ken's on a food binge. Hopefully it's not too severe. What's food looking like? Since I have some grain, let's go ahead and move over here to go to this and 5. Now we have a little bit of food. And I'm not wasting all this grain in here. Why is the grain being moved over here? What's going on? Why is it grouping by type? I don't want it to group. Well, I guess group it by type. It's automatically grouping by type. That's weird. Okay. I'm just gonna go over here and mind my own business then. Obviously, that's telling me to bug off. Alright. So that's done. Telling me what to do with my own save file. How dare you, silly tables and... Yeah. What am I doing? I'm yelling at a video game. Well, not quite yelling, but yeah. That's another thing I had to do. Construction. Why is the bricks there? Let me just go through all of these really quickly, make sure they're good to go. That's going to be the nanotubes as well as this one, because we want to have a decent amount of space for the nanotubes. Okay, I already did those. Perfect. And okay, we're about to be done with summer finally. Thank God. Now my people need to get to harvesting. Let me see what's Krista doing with the research. Currently still working on battle drones, and then she's going to work on the battery. I'm not doing the nanotubes. I'm just going to do the battery, and then she needs to get out there and work her butt off in the fields, getting food and everything for everybody. Because they're more or less just walking out here and grabbing stuff and then walking back in. They're not really harvesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and do another thing that I had planned, and that's the freezer. I had placed all my freezers in here. And leave a little bit of a space right there. There we go. And that takes us to a lot that we're going to need. So mostly metal. So we're going to need one for right now. So let's go ahead and pause most of these. There we go. Yeah, we're going to want to pause most of these. We just want to have one for right now so we can start freezing some food. Giving them a place to properly store it instead of here. Is that meat? Is that red meat? Why is red meat over here? No, no red meat. Where's my... Yeah, what's going on? It's supposed to store it here first. I mean, you can retrieve it, but it's supposed to go here first. Huh. I don't know what's going on. There's some foolery afoot. Some tomfoolery. Constructing the... Oh, thank God, we're finally going to get something constructed that's going to take up some energy. And it's going to be our very first grill. Which we can say goodbye to these campfires as soon as that happens. Stop wasting our sticks. Come on, hurry up, Grayson. It's just some metal that you're moving, buddy. Get it built. Oh, he's building both of them. Nice! Alright. Get it done. Get it done. And speaking of getting it done, we are 93% of the way done with the battle drones, finally. Alright, quick recipes. Grain porridge until 5. And since it's in here, I believe it gets cooked a little bit faster, so let's go ahead and focus all of our basic food groups. Quick recipe and the meat. No. Until 5. There we go. Shooting star, not interested. Everything quick recipes. There we go. Let's get some of these. These are very popular with the people. And then we're going to make some veggie pizza because, again, that's very popular with the people. I think veggie pizza is one of Ken's favorite. Or somebody's favorite. We're finally getting to the soldering bench as we finally... I'm saying finally a lot. Alright, need to expand my vocabulary, darn it. Getting the soldering bench done. Sorry, probably it's a little bit cringe hearing the same word repeated over and over. My apologies, my apologies. Good times. So soldering bench. This is going to get us craft electronics until 10. This is something that I like to do on each of the files that I did. So we got those 3, and then craft an AI core times 1. Then come over here and craft some power cells until 10. That way you can make your weapons. And then, once that's all said and done, laser pistol until 3. And start. We got some aggressive animals finally. Another thing that I need to do. Let's come over here to defenses. Battle drone is available finally. So let's go ahead and place one. We'll place four. Honestly, I want six. I'm going to place six. But that means getting rid of these. So we're going to have four for now. Um, the other thing I wanted, flamethrowers. Now there's two ways that I can do this. I can do the two path, or I can do three. And three will allow me to bring one of these down here, like this. Kind of almost keeping it covered. Another thing I can do is I can push these up forward one, which would then, cover it a little bit better. But I'm going to go with this pattern for now. Let's cancel that one. Let's go for three. And then that's going to be open. And then just to match the symmetry, now I'm going to end up pausing all of these, but I just want to get their locations in place. That way I have a visual guide to, hey, something that needs to be built. But I do want to at least have about three of them. There we go. All right, and that takes care of all of that. Next, let's go ahead and select everybody and bring them to the defenses, and then figure out where the bugs are coming from. Okay, now that I know where the bugs are coming from, once everybody's gathered up, I'm going to move them down a little bit. And there we go. Move them down, but still keep them in range. Oh, here comes Raka. Sweet. I thought I was missing somebody. 7. Perfect. And then we're just going to sit right here and wait for these bugs to mosey on down and get murdered by my people. Or not get murdered by my people. I'm going to go bait some of these. And by bait, what I mean is move my survivors to the outer perimeter of the bugs and aggro a couple of them. Now, that's too many. Move to right here. Some of them will back off and some of them will stay. We'll kill the ones that are stuck here. We have a pulse cannon stunning majority of them. And now they're all attacking, so run. Run! Run for your life, survivors. Run! Grayson, stop being slow. I know you're getting old, buddy, but darn it, run! And then stand right about here. Hopefully the flamethrower will take out most of them as they start coming in. And this is the strategy that I use all the way up until about year 5. Aside from the necessity of the flat cannons for the flyers, this is going to keep you going for quite some time. Once you get the better defenses, though, employed in here, you can move these flamethrowers into your inner perimeter and make another series of walls. Just waiting for the last 3 to come on over. You know what? Oh, he's over here. Hunt. You know what? Not hunt. Gather everybody. There we go. Just take him out real quick. He's over here breaking my only flamethrower. There, now unselect everyone. Yeah, what I mean by an inner wall is you want to bring it in. I usually bring it in about, what's the size of these? Is that about 2 or 3? Well, however large it is, you want to have them pulled back by 1. That way they have a interlocking flame death wall, more or less. Flamethrower on this side pointed in, flamethrower on this side pointed in, and you want their cones to intersect. So all of our flamethrowers are going to be repurposed, but the better turrets are significantly stronger, so you're going to want them, and these kind of get in the way. So again, we're going to build an interior defense wall, and we're going to employ all of our flamethrowers from the exterior into the interior. We don't put anything to waste here. Everything has a purpose. Even if it's already built, it gets repurposed to another yeah, yeah, yeah. So awaiting materials. Mainly, I believe we're waiting on metal. Waiting on lots of metal to cook up. It says we have 40, but all of that's about to disappear. This needs 4 electronics, which I'm wondering why we didn't put the electronics. Oh, I know why we didn't do the electronics, ladies and gentlemen, because we put the electronics out here to another purpose, which, good. So now I'm going to make the tasty ones over here. And one more. Let's make the stews. Wait, never mind, those take fats. Okay. Then move over here, remove that one, and remove that one. Now we got the lesser food groups over here and the somewhat better food groups over here. However, you also have the chef's recipes, which I only have the mushroom, but we don't have everything we need for it. Not even close. And Krista is finally working on battery optimization, which you don't need to replace these, they'll automatically get replaced. As for consumption, it looks like currently we're just using 30, and that's without the turrets. Just using 30 with a production of 172, and that's a daytime production. I believe our nighttime production is around 36. So we're getting a little bit closer to our goal. I mean, our daytime consumption has hit our goal of at least 3 times our consumption, or sorry, 3 times our production to consumption ratio. And the reason I do that is because you don't know when these are going to break down. You don't know when you're going to get hit with a solar eclipse. You don't know when you're going to get hit with a heat wave. So that will affect your power generation. The solar eclipse will affect all of your solar panels and your roof. The heat wave will affect your wind turbine, as it requires wind to be moving around. And if there's no wind, there's nothing. But we're at 57 minutes now, you guys, which means it's time to pause the game. It's time to save the game into the YouTube save, I believe, right? The YouTube save or this one? Which one's more advanced? That's got more stuff on it. This one. So we're going to save over the YouTube save, and we're going to save this one as our backup, because this is the one that I started on for this video. So we're going to go ahead and save over the YouTube save, just so if the video does process correctly, I won't have to go back and do anything. If it doesn't process, I'll have somewhere to go back and pick up where I left off. But thank you guys for coming through. Sorry that we didn't have the original 37 minutes. I wanted to have that original video, honestly, because there was no breaks between anything. You saw everything I was doing as I was doing. A little bit of a headache, but there's just some things in life that you can't control after you complain about it for 20 minutes to your wife, and she gets tired of hearing you and tells you to grow up. But all right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are when you're viewing this. You guys take care. You stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.